Hello, I'm V-Shing from DVS. Welcome to my video. Today's video, I go back to my live streaming based on my experience on hardware video switch. I done a 6-part of this thing, mainly on Blackmagic ATEM Mini and data video SE650 and SE1200. Recently, Blackmagic have came up with a new version of ATEM Mini. It's called ATEM Mini Extreme or ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. So that's why I came up with this video to see how's the ranking of this ATEM Mini Extreme. Okay, without further delay, let's go into it. Okay, what is my target workflow? For my source, I need at least 2 video camera, 1 computer input, and 1 audio input. As for my target, I hope to have a live streaming, recording, output to projector, and a multi-viewer option. The next thing is how easy to learn, teach, or to use. And one more thing in my target workflow is growth potential. And lastly is the cost factor. Alright, let's talk about source. ATEM Mini Extreme supported 8 HDMI input. So it's actually able to support what's my recommended input. That is 2 camera, 1 computer, and 1 audio. And I still got spare a lot of extra input. It also supported audio input, but it supported 2 3.5 stereo mini jack, which can come from microphone or audio mixer. So because of this, for source, ATEM Mini Extreme, I rate it 4 star. I could not rate maximum 5 star because it's lack of
SDI
input for video signal and XLR audio input, which these 2 are my favorite. But this is subject to your usage. If your usage is permanent in a building, you do not need to dismantle or whatever, HDMI or mini jack are perfect for it. But if you are doing it that for an event that changes place every week, every time, SDI cable and XLR cable are more rugged in that purposes, because it gives you more flexibility because of the length, because of the ruggedness. It gives you a bit more flexibility where you want to put, and your switcher to the cameras or what to the projector or the audio mixer, you give you a little bit more flexibility on controlling the wear and tear. Target, this is good. Alright, Blackmagic ATEM Mini Extreme achieved 4.5 star ranking out of maximum of 5. Alright, why? Because we have built-in live streaming. A lot of other switchers do not have it, so this one have it. Okay, so you can easily do it from the devices, or you want to stream out to an external third-party software or hardware, you can able to do it by the USB output. So this way, the USB-C output ATEM Mini Extreme have 2 out, which gives you a lot of flexibility. Okay, because with this tool means I can do 2 things at one time. I can have one connected directly to the streaming devices and the other to my recorder. So I can actually do streaming and recording at the same time, especially if you want to do multiple source recording, which include program recording. ATEM Mini Extreme ISO will be very useful because from one USB-C port, I can do multiple recording. So that 2-port USB-C port is very useful. Same with the HDMI output. ATEM Mini Pro, Mini Pro, okay, to only have one HDMI out and one USB-C out. In ATEM Mini Extreme, have two HDMI out. These two HDMI give me a lot of flexibility. One, the flexibility, I can have output as a multi-viewer. The other output, I can have a program out. And this program out, I can actually link to the projector. So it gives you tremendous possibility of target usage. All right. Interesting note, ATEM Mini Extreme have headset port. So that means you can actually use this headset to hear the audio as outgoing audio. So this will assure you that give you more security in sense that you can hear the audio. Previously, you must go to a recording or your whatever device you have, and you want to play back from there. Now, you do not need to play back from the monitor or the recorder or the streaming device. You can confirm from the ATEM Mini Extreme. You know that the audio, outgoing audio or incoming audio is there or not, whether it's correct or in sync. So it's very useful. But why I didn't give a full 5-star? All right. Reason why, it's achieved everything, it done everything that I want, but it's limited to, like I say, to the same venue event, where it's permanently laid out event. If you want to use this ATEM Mini Extreme for different location at different time, the lack of SDI and XLR make it a bit more difficult. So that's why I could not give a 5-star, I gave 4.5 stars. On easy to use, I give same 3 stars to all the ATEM Mini Extreme. Why? Because it's easy to use, easy to learn, especially on the control button on the device. It's all there. Nice. But if you want to do more control, like adjust the picture-in-picture size, or you want to change the channel to the picture-in-picture, or you want to manipulate the audio setting to increase the gain or whatever, you need to use the software. In other words, you need to connect this ATEM Mini to the computer, whether it's notebook or desktop, and using the software, ATEM Mini software, to do it. This way I'm not very keen of it, because this way the person must know a lot on the software side to play around with it. That can't do much on that one, because that is the way it designed. Blackmagic always believe the software way to do it, because it gives you a lot of flexibility. True, I agree with it, but the person who uses it must be well versed in it. So that's why I cannot give a very high ranking for all the ATEM Mini because of this one. Because I prefer everything can done on the device without much using the third-party software. In other words, it's more easier to use if it's everything on the device. The next one is the growth potential. I give a 4-star. Previous review on Blackmagic ATEM Mini, I give a very low ranking. Main reason because the growth potential is very limited. This one growth potential is there. Alright, you can start with 2 cameras, 1 computer with one audio, and you can use it just for streaming purposes. But because it's 2 HDMI out and 2 USB-C out, I can later add on. For example, I want the recording purposes. I want to control the projection purposes to the projector. I have the choice here. The thing is there for me to do it. So the growth potential is there, and especially if you are buying Blackmagic cameras, ATEM Mini Extreme can able to control the gain and some features on the cameras. You do not need a person at the camera. It control from the switcher. This is very good growth potential. Give you some thing that you can continue grow instead of like earlier scenario, you have no choice, you have to buy another switch to supplement it or totally change it. This one you can start at this one and you can use it for a very long time because it can grow progressively. And why you can start with it? Because for cost factor, ATEM Mini Extreme is the most expensive of all the ATEM Mini product. But if you look at the cost factor, let's say ATEM Mini Extreme, it's only around 5,000 ringgit for 8 channel with a lot of these features. Compared to another switcher, no other switcher out there with this price, with this type of features. So ATEM Mini, in a way, reasonable price compared to others brand switcher. Like I mentioned, ATEM Mini Extreme, I also have one more model called ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, mainly for the add-on multiple camera recording. The price is higher, it's roughly 6,500 ringgit, but you are buying that features. So in conclusion, Blackmagic Design ATEM Mini Extreme is one of the better review hardware switch because it has a built-in live streaming function. You have a built-in recording capability, which is a very good option to add on. It supported 8 HDMI input, which allowed me to expand my target workflow. You have 2 HDMI out that give me allowed to show both multi-viewer and program out at the same time. I can change the program out with other things. For example, individual channel that I need to show. I can do that. So it gives me some flexibility. Alright. Again, the same thing is have a 2 USB-C output, which gives you a bit more flexibility of choice, because now let's say I want to use for streaming, for recording, for multi-viewer, and for output to projector. These 2 USB-C and 2 HDMI output allowed me to fulfill all these 4 functionality. This is good. ATEM Mini Extreme also can do multiple things, like they can do up to 4 picture, here, DSK, and it can actually allow 2 media player function, which I can do a still picture or video to play out from the switcher itself. So price factor is very good for 8-channel switcher. Like earlier I mentioned, ATEM Mini have its weakness, which is lack of SDI and XLR input. So, in conclusion, ATEM Mini Extreme is designed for professional live event with live streaming and recording. Best work at a permanent layout, like a church, like a corporate hall, or even a banquet hall, where you can lay out that permanently there and you can use it nicely. Permanent hall also means that you can make sure the ventilation are ideal in there, so it will be helpful for it. If you are thinking of buying the switcher for doing multiple events at multiple place at multiple time, I don't recommend it. Why? Because of the SDI and XLR in and out. Because these two give me more flexible where I put my switcher. It relate to the camera or the projector or the audio mixer. It gives me a lot more flexible on that aspect. Where else HDMI and mini jack, because it's more sensitive to wear and tear or be stabbed or to roll up the cable, it's not recommended. It's recommended for permanent layout event. So I hope this conclusion show you how good this Blackmagic ATEM Mini and what it designed for, so you are aware its ability to use it and where best to use it. That's all for today. I'm V-Shing from DVS. Goodbye. Thank you. God bless.